November 13th, 2022. A cold night in Moscow, Idaho turned into one of the darkest days in American college history. 4 bright students, full of life and dreams, brutally murdered inside their home, while 2 others survived in shock. Tonight we take you through the haunting story of the University of Idaho murders. Who were the victims? What exactly happened that night? How did investigators crack the case? And why, even after justice, so many questions remain unanswered? This is the full story of the Idaho student murders. Before we dive into the night of the crime, let's first meet the victims. 4 young lives whose futures were stolen. Maddie Mogen, 21, a lively and friendly student from Kernodle, Idaho. She was known for her big heart and her close friendship with Kaylee Goncalves, 21, from Rathdrum, Idaho. Intelligent, ambitious, and Maddie's childhood best friend. The 2 were inseparable. Xana Kernodle, 20, originally from Avondale, Arizona. Fun-loving and active, she was focused on her studies and enjoyed her social life. Ethan Chapin, 20, from Washington State. Xana's boyfriend, a cheerful and caring young man, deeply loved by his family. They all lived, or were visiting, a rental house on King Road in Moscow, Idaho, a 3-story off-campus home that was popular among students. 2 other roommates also lived there, and they would survive the night, but what they saw and heard would haunt them forever. On the evening of November 12th, the group went about their normal college lives. Maddie and Kaylee spent the night downtown, first at a bar and later grabbing food at a truck before heading home around 1:45 a.m. Xana and Ethan had been at a fraternity party and returned to the King Road house around the same time. By 2 a.m., everyone was home, getting ready to sleep. The house seemed quiet, but between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m., something horrifying happened. A masked intruder entered the house. Moving through the dark rooms, he brutally attacked the students with a knife. Some victims showed signs of defensive wounds, suggesting they tried to fight back, but the attack was overwhelming. All 4, Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan, were killed in their rooms. One surviving roommate later reported hearing unusual noises and even seeing a masked figure moving through the house. Terrified, she locked her door and did not call police until hours later. It was a massacre that left the small town of Moscow, Idaho, in absolute shock. Local police, Idaho State Police, and the FBI quickly joined forces. The pressure was intense. The nation was watching. Over 15,000 tips poured in from the public. Digital evidence, phone calls, and security footage were collected. The crime scene provided one of the biggest breakthroughs. A tan leather knife sheath was found next to one of the victims. On that sheath, investigators found DNA. Cell phone data also revealed that a suspect's phone had been near the house on multiple occasions, suggesting surveillance before the murders. Police also obtained surveillance footage of a white Hyundai Elantra seen in the area that night, which further narrowed their search. On December 30th, 2022, after weeks of fear and speculation, police made an arrest in Pennsylvania. The suspect was Bryan Kohberger, a 28-year-old PhD student studying criminology at Washington State University, just 10 miles away from the victim's home. Investigators connected Kohberger to the DNA found on the knife sheath, his cell phone records, which showed he had been near the house multiple times before the murders, his car, which matched the white Hyundai Elantra spotted near the scene. Kohberger was extradited to Idaho and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. At first, Kohberger pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors announced they would pursue the death penalty. But in July 2025, in a dramatic turn, Bryan Kohberger changed his plea to guilty on all charges in exchange for avoiding execution. The court sentenced him to 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus additional time for burglary. During the sentencing, families of the victims gave emotional statements describing their unimaginable pain and loss. Yet, even with the guilty plea, the biggest question remained unanswered. Why? What was Kohberger's motive? The murders shook not only the University of Idaho, but the entire nation. Students felt unsafe, with many leaving campus or installing security devices in their homes. The case highlighted the role of DNA technology, cell phone tracking, and digital evidence in modern investigations. It also showed how communities come together. Thousands of people held vigils, lit candles, and demanded justice for the 4 students. But even with justice served, the tragedy left a permanent scar. 4 bright lives, stolen too soon. Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan will never be forgotten. Their story is a reminder of how fragile life is and how darkness can strike when least expected. Thank you for watching. What do you think motivated this crime? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories.